Hello students. In today's video I would like to reveal something that I wish I was told much earlier in my chess journey. This is perhaps one of the most important chess lessons I've ever learned myself. It is said that it takes rough seas to make good captains. Back in the day when I started playing against title players, I noticed that something else than strategy or tactics was lacking. They had much more developed killer instinct. They were always aware of aggressive opportunities, and once they bit, they never let go. In the last decade, I've worked with many hundreds of students, and in a lot of players I saw the same problem. I would like you to not only develop the instinct to always look for aggressive opportunities to strike, but also meditate and visualize how you're going to win the game. Projecting victory, in my opinion, is changing your mindset, which will automatically make you more receptive when seeking candidate moves. Unfortunately, just solidifying, developing the pieces and castling is not enough to win. In today's video, we'll share two positions which occurred in my students' games where aggressive opportunities were missed. Take a look at the position in front of you. It's white to play, and black's last move was knight to a5. They're intending to place the knight on c4. Pause the video and try to think, what would you play here with the white pieces? So let me just reveal what happened in the game. In the game, white was totally focused on the black's threat, knight c4. They looked at various opportunities to try to prevent knight from coming there or ignoring that. They've decided to play b3, which controls the c4 square, however severely weakening the dark squares on the queen side with the absence of their own dark square bishop around. Black played rook to c8 attacking the knight, after which white played rook c1, and black started developing the initiative with bishop to b4. Instead, in the face of a threat, like here knight to c4 may be called a positional threat, we should still be open-minded and look at counter-aggressive opportunities first before even looking at the defensive chances. The move that one needs to see over here is g4. This is developing the initiative and is a counter-strike that no master would miss. After g4, we're threatening to make it uncomfortable for the black's light-squared bishop on the king's side as it's running out of squares. Bishop e4 is never valid because after f3 they will just be kicked away to g6 anyways, and after bishop g6 we can continue with h4. Over here we're threatening to trap the bishop with the move h5. Now, the casual looking h6 or h5 will lead to a deadly pawn structure damage after the knight is taking on g6. That is basically the problem for black in this position. After knight g6, we're threatening the rook, so they don't have time to take on g5. And after, for example, f takes g6 and bishop goes back to f4, white is much better in this position, as they have much better pawn structure. Take a look at the vulnerable e6 pawn, double pawns g7 and g6. g6 is usually the one that is very weak, and black's king is also very unsafe. It's dangerous for them to castle kingside due to the advanced pawns of white, and white will have an attack against the black's king. Let's take a look at another example. In this position, my student was playing black pieces. I would like you to pause the video and try to find an aggressive, dynamic continuation for the black pieces. Let me just reveal what happened in the game. In the game, my student was following a generic principle to develop the pieces. Bishop g4 was played, after which h3 was played, takes on f3, queen f3. Soon white played knight c4, bishop b2, attacked e5 pawn, and white had the most comfortable position they could get out of an opening. Instead, over here, black has to look for counter chances, as white is threatening knight c4, bishop b2, and severe pressure on e5. The first thing that we should look at in the face of a threat is a counter strike or counter attack. And the move c6 is changing and shifting the tables completely. Black is the one that will hold the upper hand. First of all, white is unable to continue with developing the pieces, as we do have a concrete threat of winning the pawn on d5. After they take on c6, we're going to not take back on c6, but rather complicate with queen takes d3. Now we won one pawn, e4 is hanging as it's attacked twice, as well as c6 is hanging. And for example, after something like pawn takes b7 and bishop b7, I'm afraid white is completely lost and black is developing a deadly initiative. One may think that these two positions do not correlate. However, I would say that missing the right moves in both positions are just symptoms of the same problem, which is lacking aggression and winner's mindset. To solve it, at first I recommend to consciously remind yourself to look for all aggressive options even in the face of an attack or a threat, and you will see that later it will become part of your chess character. There will be no auxiliary questions or thoughts needed for these moves to come to your mind. You will say that it's just intuitive. If you enjoyed the video, consider hiring me as your personal online chess coach. My contacts are on the right. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next class.